Hello, Section 006 and open participants. I am here talking to you today from Portland, Oregon, and I'll tell you why I'm here a little bit later. But right now, I just want to say welcome to week 2 of our MOOC, and I want to talk just a little bit about week 1 and note a few different things that I noticed about your work and give you some general feedback, and then talk to you about what we are going to be doing during week 2. So I've got some notes here on my phone. I'll be looking down at it every couple seconds just to make sure I cover everything. But let's talk about week 1 for just a couple minutes first. So I expected there would be a little bit of trouble with technology just getting started, and I was correct. There were a few people who had trouble. I know 85-90% of you whizzed right through it, got your blogs connected, didn't have any difficulty, but I do sympathize with those of you, the few of you who did have some trouble getting all hooked up to the class. I am pleased to say that everybody is connected now, and to my knowledge, there are no continuing problems. If you are having any trouble with the technology, if you're confused about anything, don't know how to do something, please let me know. If you don't talk with me, if you don't tell me, I'm not going to know what it is that you're thinking. So I'm here to help you and to offer whatever guidance I can. So email me, talk to me on Twitter, however you'd like to, but I am here to help. So last week we started the Nugget assignment. That was one of our first assignments, and I think everybody did a really good job with the Nuggets, particularly with the with using that nugget as a springboard into discussing your own personal experience, what that passage actually meant to you. So I think that almost all of you did an excellent job with that part. What I'd like to see more of in the coming weeks is, continue with the connections to personal experience, but I'd also like to see more contextualizing of the passage. Meaning, I'd like you to think about how that passage relates to the larger text as a whole. So what does that passage say about that article, the essay as a whole? And as we read more and more of these articles, I'd like you to be making connections between, a nugget that you looked at for week 3 versus one that you remember looking at in week 1. So you can make connections to the individual text, but also be making connections to the other things that we're reading as we continue to read more and more works. Oh, also, if you haven't looked at that rubric that we created for you, it is posted on the course site. It's a rubric just for your Nugget assignments. It's what I'm going to use to grade all of them. Make sure you take a look at that rubric. It's pretty straightforward, but I explain exactly, how to get 100, how to get an 85, and so forth. So take a look at that and aim for the A, obviously. Again, if you have any questions about it, just let me know. For that first nugget, I wanted to just give you a chance to get used to everything. So that was worth 10 points. If you did it, I give you 10 points. If you didn't do it, you got a 0. I think everybody did it. I think. Almost everybody did it. But that is not how I'll be grading them in the future. I wanted to give you a chance just to get started and start to feel comfortable with the assignments and give you some feedback so that you knew what was expected. But please note that the way that it's defined in the rubric is the way that your nuggets will be graded from now on. The associative trails concept experience. I've noticed that a lot of you guys really like that assignment, and I was glad to see it because we really like it too. We thought it was a really interesting way to consider one's own thinking. And it reflects back on that first prompt that you did during the first day of the class, where we asked, how does it feel when you think? And the associative trails exercise that we did doesn't ask how it feels, but it asks you to do some deeper thinking about the way that you think. So I thought you guys did a pretty good job with that, explaining the way that the connections that you saw in your thinking, how you went from one thing to the next thing to the next. What I'd like to see more of for future concept experience assignments is some deeper thinking, not just, well, when I look at my browser history, I see that I went from this site about stray dogs to something about cancer, and then all of a sudden I was looking at something about Spain. Wow, those are really different topics. That's a good place to start, but I'd like you to do some deeper thinking about that. Why do you suppose? Why do you suspect that your brain worked in that way? Why did you go from one idea to the next? That's what these associative trails are all about. So continue to think about that in the upcoming concept experiences. So another thing that you were asked to do this past week was to comment on one another's blogs. So thank you to those of you who did such a really good job writing thoughtful and insightful comments on each other's work. I've noticed that not everybody did do the comments though. So in the future, that is going to be a big part of your participation grade. So the commenting is an important part of writing of blogging. Commenting is important for blogging because we all know how it feels when you write something and you get comments on your blog. It makes you engage further with the material and shows the truth that other people are out there looking at what you're writing. And in this class, that's more true than ever. Your peers in your section are looking at your writing. Your peers in other sections are looking at your writing, and the open participants are looking at your writing. So it's really important that you make thoughtful comments, not just when we assign them. You can make them all the time, but especially when it's assigned in the daily work. So I'll talk for just a second about multimedia. One of the expectations in this class is that you will exploit the internet for all it's worth, meaning when you write, you'll do more than just use text. Of course, we're going to pay careful attention to the way that we're using words and how to make arguments as this course moves forward. But right now, be thinking not just about what words you use, but also how you can best supplement the text, how you can best supplement what you're trying to say using image, using sound, using links. So I saw that most of you guys did a fabulous job including really interesting images and GIFs in your work last week. I was really, really impressed with what I saw there. One thing to be working on this week is adding links to your work. So you can link to anything, right? You can link back to your own work and should. You should link back to the work you see from your peers in your section and outside of it. And you can link out to the web in general. But all of your posts should start to contain all of your posts should start to contain links this coming week. So keep that in mind as you're beginning your writing today. So let's see, what else can I tell you about week 1? I think that's pretty much it. For next week, you might want to write this down because what I'm about to tell you isn't written down in the syllabus. Okay, so what I would like you to do for next week is to start tagging your posts. So some of you might know exactly what I mean when I say that, but others of you might not. In your blog post, when you are writing, if you scroll down on the right-hand side, somewhere towards the bottom, it'll say tags or tagging. So that's where you can put different tags, and tags are a way to categorize or organize your work. So you might tag a nugget post, nugget. Right? And if you did that, and if all of the students who are taking this course right now all tag their nugget posts nugget, then you could search for nugget and see everybody's work right there. So if you tagged it nugget 1 or nugget 2, then you'd be able to further refine that search and actually find specific work that your peers are doing. So this week I'd like you to start tagging your work. I'm not going to tell you how to tag it outside of tagging it by the assignment. So you do need to tag it nugget 2 for this week. But you may also tag it in any other ways you like. Many times people use upwards of 5 tags for a particular post. So you're looking for, when you're thinking about tagging, you should be thinking about what's your post about? What would somebody who was trying to read your post, what might they be looking for? If you're writing about China, you might tag your post China. So that's up to you. There's no right or wrong there. But I am asking you to go ahead and tag your posts from now on by the assignment name. So a tag can only be one word. So write nugget 2 with the number 2, and that's one word. Nugget 2 for this week. The other thing I'd like to introduce for this week is Diigo. So that's Diigo. If you're not familiar with it, it's a social bookmarking site and a very contemporary way to do research and to organize your research. So you might remember during the days prior to the beginning of the class, or perhaps on the first day of class for you, you were asked to create a Diigo account. So hopefully you have that done already. So beginning this week, everything you look at, I would like you to save in Diigo and tag it thought vectors. Just like what the tag is for Twitter, that's what we're going to use for Diigo as well. So make sure you tag it thought vectors. You're going to have 2 tags on all of your Diigo posts. Thought vectors is the first one, and that will tag it so that everyone who's in our course can be looking at each other's sources and things that we're reading and finding. But you should also tag it something specific for our class. So our class is 006, that's the section that you're in. So you should have thought vectors as one tag, and then TV006. So that's T as in Thomas, V as in Victor, 006. Don't forget to put 2 zeros there. Okay, so tag all of everything you look at that's related to this class, and even things that aren't, perhaps, because that's our associative trails. That's how they work. So tag everything in Diigo so that you can share it with me and with each other. And as we begin working on our inquiry projects in the coming weeks, we're going to be using Diigo in more advanced and complex ways. For now, I just want to give you some practice with it. So I'll be looking for what you tag this week. What else can I tell you? All of the week 2 assignments are posted in on the course website. Hopefully you already know that and have taken a look at them. You're going to notice that every week we're doing a nugget assignment. Every week we're doing a concept experience. Of course, the concept experience will be different each week, and the essay we'll be reading will be different each week. Both of those assignments are posted. You also will always have some reflective writing that's due usually on Fridays. That could change, but it will always be posted with a due date, and that is posted right now. Be thinking also about your inquiry project. In week 3, your inquiry project proposal is going to be due. So you need to have a topic pretty well defined by then. So this is the time to be thinking about it, and this is the time to start talking to me about your topics as well. So shoot me an email, and I'm happy to chat with you that way. I'm also happy to chat with you over the phone or via a video chat or even in person if you happen to be around campus. But not this week, because this week we are in Portland, Oregon. The entire Thought Vectors team is. We are presenting this MOOC and all of the work that you guys are doing at a conference called the New Media Consortium Conference. And on Wednesday afternoon, we will be teaching a class live. So you'll get some more information about that before Wednesday, but you will see it on the syllabus. I think it says NMC Conference Live. So you can watch it live, or like the first one, the first hangout, it'll be recorded and you can watch it later if you're not available at that time. But we will be here all week. That doesn't mean that I'm not available. I'll be checking my email and giving you feedback on your work all throughout the week. Okay? So if you have any questions, please send me an email. Otherwise, I've really enjoyed getting to know each one of you, and I hope to talk to all of you more this week and next. All right, thank you. Bye.